Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel database with this story. Get plot synopsis and character bio. So, I have loosely covered all 12 issues of this in two videos. It was very loose for the most part. I decided I wanted to do a little bit more of a comprehensive cover. So we're going to be looking at Secret Wars #1. I plan on doing all 12 issues once a month. And so we're going to start here. Great cover, iconic. Mike Zeck is an amazing, he's so good, but there's just so little of his actual work in comic books. These are the characters that he managed to be able to fit. He couldn't fit everybody, so it's still pretty cool. As you notice, only the Thing is here. There's no Mr. Fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, he didn't even get Thor in here. So, yeah, not it's a great cover. Absolutely love it. So, here we go. So we start out in the far reaches of space, and suddenly this ship materializes here. And you can see here that there's like these four things here kind of surrounding like a making of a planet, and then in the middle we gather our heroes. This is written by Jim Shooter, who was Marvel's editor-in-chief at this time. So he is the writer. Mike Zeck does about half the issues, and Bob Layton does about the other half. And then John Beaty is Mike Zeck's inker. Then Tom DeFalco, who ends up being Marvel's next editor-in-chief after Jim Shooter, is just the regular editor. So the heroes have been gathered here from different from their respective missions, and we got Captain Marvel, the Thing, and of course Spider-Man. This is pre-Todd McFarlane, so he's got the regular tiny little eyes. And we have our heroes who have been gathered here. So we can see here we got Captain America, Captain Marvel, Storm, the Fantastic Three. Sue Storm was pregnant, so she did not come. We got Hulk, the members of the Avengers at that time, and so they've been, of course, displaced into this planet here, or into this whatever you would call this. And so up here, everybody basically introduces themselves, and then Captain America looks up and sees Galactus and another construct. So all of a sudden, they call out to Professor X to do like a mind scan and who's all over there, which of course is our villains. So we got the Wrecking Crew, Ultron, Doctor Doom, Dr. Octopus, Kang the Conqueror, the Molecule Man, he'll be very important, and the Enchantress, and then oh my goodness, the Absorbing Man. So, and of course, we got Galactus, who's not really a villain, but here he is. When the editor-in-chief wants someone, then that's what we get. Similar to the other, we get introduction on who's everybody. So, and the thing goes, so if all the bad guys are over there, what's Magneto doing here? We're going to make a little sidebar. So, at this time, the whole point of this thing was toys. And Mattel at that time, Marvel was trying to work out a deal with them. And Mattel said, sure, but we would like, a story around these toys so that we can sell them. So this whole premise was done for the sale of toys. So Captain Marvel here says, a good question. What about it, murderer? And so we get this long winded here. I am many things, a mutant, master of magnetism, and an avowed enemy of humankind, but a murderer, a slayer of innocents, never. I fight in defense of my race. My cause is just, though even the X-Men, who are like me, are homo superior, stupidly fail to understand that. I know not what power transported me here from my secret lair, nor why I was placed among you, but I find it more appropriate to ask why such as you were judged fit to be placed in my presence. So a little bit arrogant, of course. Look at this beautiful, beautiful screen tone used here on Professor X. Professor X, of course, tells him, don't be so arrogant, but then says, hey, something's happening, and tells everyone to look up to the stars. And suddenly, ripped, like a rip in space, that they see an entire galaxy being destroyed, and suddenly it's gone. I don't know how they would see a galaxy's just so huge. So, um, Thor, of course, looks very concerned. And Iron Man here. Now, Iron Man is not Tony Stark. Iron Man is Rhodey. James Rhodes is Iron Man during this. So, Tony Stark is having issues with his alcoholism and his drinking problem, and I do have a playlist for that. I also have a playlist for the Thor run during that time with Walter Simonson. So suddenly they see this planet being formed from other from other sections. Now, one of the really cool things here is how humbled Doctor Doom is. He's just the power that is being here. Meanwhile, these two, I love this. How they introduce themselves, because again, the thing is, this could be new readers. So I, Dr. Octopus, I, Crusher Creel, the Absorbing Man. So, there is plenty of, they keep introducing themselves. So suddenly Ultron fires at both of them. And again, we get the I am Ultron, as, they've already been introduced. Anyway, he goes, I don't know how I was resurrected, and he doesn't care. His purpose is to slay that which lives, and since they're all living beings, Ultron must destroy them. So now all of a sudden these villains are fighting each other, and then you see Galactus's foot. So everybody's like, take cover. So Absorbing Man is going to absorb the rays himself. So Dr. Doom, of course, just briefly explains Ultron. His body's made of adamantium, and he has a fusion reactor that powers him. And Doom says Ultron's strong enough that even his own personal shield might suffer. So he says, Molecule Man, you have the power to stop Ultron. And Molecule Man is like, no, I gave up being the Molecule Man. I'm just plain Owen Reese now. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Please let me find a place to hide. So a bit of a coward is the Molecule Man. Dr. Doom, of course, is having none of it. He's like, only you or Galactus can destroy Ultron, and Galactus is oblivious to their fate. And Molecule Man is like, no, I'm trying to be good. My therapist says I mustn't hurt anyone. And Doom says, very well, then just do this. And so Molecule Man picks him up and throws him at Galactus. And again, we get it's easy. All molecules obey my every whim. So here's the thing, and there's certain characters that are too powerful. I just don't understand how you can defeat them. Also, we have a lot of green. Dr. Doom, Molecule Man, the Wrecker, the Enchantress. Green, green, green. And so Galactus goes, he noticed. And Ultron's like, hey, what's up? Of course, Ultron is like, it doesn't matter. My adamantium body cannot be harmed, and this giant is but one more living creature to slay. And Galactus is not amused. And so suddenly Galactus takes something out of Ultron, and everybody else is like, yeesh. And he's got like this little spark that he took away. And it says here, he sucked the energy out of Ultron. And Doctor Doom is like, he contained more power than a hydrogen bomb. That shows you just the level of power of Galactus. And these three go to mention, man, he's already busy. It's like he doesn't care about them. And Thunderball, I think, just says Ultron was like a gnat to him. So, and so right after, then the heavens open up. You can see like a rip in space time, and this shining light comes through. Very bright light, and Captain America tells everyone, quiet and listen. And of course, we get this line here. We got the heroes here, the villains here, both of them here. Very, very nice. I am from beyond. Slay your enemies, and all you desire shall be yours. Nothing you dream of is impossible for me to accomplish. And the Wrecker is like, yep, I think he's telling the truth. So I love Mike Zeck. Again, I wish there was more of his work. Galactus, of course, is totally not amused here. Real quick, again, some more screen tones being used. I absolutely love it. So basically, what Galactus wants is he wants to no longer be hungry, essentially. You can take from Galactus, devourer of worlds, his hunger. You can end his ceaseless monstrous cravings for the very essence of living worlds. Let it be done. And he goes toward him. I will not wait. I will not let some petty charade delay my respite. The torment must end now. So Galactus, of course, is always hungry. And so Doom decides, I'm going to follow this dude because he knows Galactus is the most powerful of them. Of course, Doom says here, if there's power to be had, then Doom must have it. Doom's force field is protecting him. So he's hoping Galactus and will battle the Beyonder, and he's going to look into basically in the background and pick up the pieces after. The Beyonder, of course, says, stop, you cannot approach me. The bears will repulse you. And Galactus says, no, I will not. I must not be denied. Dr. Doom, of course, is pulling for Galactus because he wants to know what's in there and follow Galactus in there. So all of a sudden, boom, we get this as Galactus goes in there, and there's this huge amount of energy here. And then suddenly, Galactus and, of course, little Dr. Doom here are being spit out. And the hole has now sealed itself. Of course, seeing Galactus being batted like a fly is a scary sight for them. Particularly in 1984 because, Galactus was the most powerful at that time of all of Marvel, in the Marvel Universe. So the two constructs now are separating and are heading into different parts of the planet. So the heroes are going in one way and the villains are going the other way. Suddenly the heroes are transported into the planet from the ship, and Captain America begins barking orders. Ready for anything. Form a circle. Iron Man, keep your radar going. Wolverine, of course, is good at giving orders, ain't he? And Hulk says, yes, he is, maybe the best. So this Hulk at this time had Banner's intellect. So he's asking Reed Richards if he can go take a look up there, and he goes, "Well, not a villain inside. I love again." I always shout out to screen tones when I see them. Of course, the Wasp, who's also wearing green and purple. Oh my gosh, must be the color of Marvel. He's like, "What are you talking about? There's a villain right here." And Hawkeye's like, "Yep, Magneto sure qualifies that." And of course, Magneto's getting a little tired of that. "Fools," he says, "was I not chosen by the Beyonder to be among you?" The Wasp says, "No murderer deserves to be among us, or did you forget the submarine you sank with everybody on board?" And Magneto, by the way, again, look at these amazing screen tones, says, "They fired upon me. It's an act of war." And, basically self defense. It's partly their fault. They're the ones that attacked them. So, Professor Xavier, of course, is like, guys, he was placed among us for a reason, and we're probably gonna need him. Again, look at these I love screen tones. It is a lost art. And Xavier says, "We don't always approve of his methods, but," and of course, Hawkeye doesn't even let him, because it's very unusual to see because the heroes are not behaving very heroically here. So yeah, Hawkeye grabs Cyclops here, and he yells. He's like, "Oh, you mutants are sticking together, huh? Sticking with that blood-soaked maniac." And of course, Wolverine says, "Hands off, Hawkeye. Cyclops is a jerk, but he's our jerk." Now, at this time, during this, Wolverine wasn't behaving like this, so I don't think Jim Shooter was, this is more, the Wolverine in Secret Wars is more of, acts more like the early Wolverine than he does the Wolverine at that time, which is closer to things now. So the heroes decide, well, we're gonna take care of Magneto, and Magneto's like, "You dare?" And he dispatches some of them, says, "You guys aren't even my equal." And Cyclops is like, "Stop it, guys. The professor already said this isn't the time or place for this." Of course, Captain Marvel's like, what are you gonna do? Basically, your eye beams can't hurt me. Her whole body's made out of energy. The Human Torch is like, they're nuts. And Hulk is like, "Yes, I'm inclined to agree." The Hulk. And Wolverine is like, "It's weird. It's weird hearing you, since you got Bruce Banner's brain, but you ain't getting by no matter whose brain's in there." And Magneto basically says, "Fuck this. I've had it." So here, they kind of explain his power a little bit. Magneto cannot fly. He uses a repulsion. He can ride. You can see here the force of the magnetic field. So, kind of, because we treat everybody as if they've never seen this before. So Human Torch says he's gone. Now what? And Professor X says, "Well, we need leaderships. Richards." And Reed is like, "Are you suggesting me?" Reed says, he's got a pregnant wife. His thoughts aren't there. They don't want a leader who's not basically thinking about them. So, and they're like, the Hulk. And no, he suggests Bruce Banner, and the Human Torch says, "The Hulk. No offense, Doc, but long ago you were a dumb monster." So, and the Hulk is like, "I'd have guessed, but I'm not interested in giving orders. Let Winghead do it. He likes it. That means Captain America." And She-Hulk says, "I'm the leader of the Avengers, but I will defer to Captain America." Sorry, Wasp. During this time, the Avengers voted like a chairperson, and that person would serve a term, and they would lead throughout that term. So, She-Hulk says, "Why, Wasp?" And basically, they're in a strange land, and so he's a soldier, so. And Captain America says, "What about you, Professor X?" Um, Professor X puts a vote of confidence in Captain America. And Wolverine, again, this Wolverine, as you read this, is very strange. He behaves like early Wolverine. It's almost as if Jim Shooter never read the X-Men before. Like all he read was the beginning, and he never read, because Wolverine during this time was not behaving like this. So, he just was not behaving like this. So, um, the Wolverine limited series had already happened. That just he'd evolved as a character. So seeing him say things like this, wait a minute, he's the least of us. I can't do anything. I won't follow him. It just doesn't work. So anyway, we see here a little coloring error here. All right, Thor says, "I will. I'm the prince of the gods." And I think Captain America basically is the right person. So it's been settled. So in the other time, you've got Doctor Hawk or Doctor Doom basically saying, "Oh, I'm alive," um, and Galactus is alive, but he's still unconscious. So here he is, all down. So it just goes again to show you how powerful the Beyonder is. But check it out. He's got a right foot here. Um, this foot is wrong. Huh, I just noticed that. So Doctor Doom kind of walks away thinking, how's he going to get that power? Doctor Doom knows, of course, that the other villains are in here and that this was provided to them by the Beyonder, and he needs to convince them that they must not play this game and that they must not fight. And again, look at the screen tone. They're glad Doctor Doom appeared, and they basically said, "We basically nominate you for leader." They say we're going to have to work together to win the Beyonder's prize, and with him leading them, they can't lose. And Doctor Doom says, "The prize, is that all you can think about?" He basically says, "We've seen his power, and you guys are just going for the cheap lust of selfish desires. There's more than, they need to proceed cautiously, try to comprehend the power of the Beyonder." And the Molecule Man is like, "Hey, let's do what the Beyonder wants. I want a nice house, lots of friends, maybe a girl who likes me." And Doom just pushes him away. He's like, "We need to to fight is to prove that we are but microbes in the slide. We must transcend ourselves." So he's basically saying this dude is we're just fighting for his amusement, and so we need to transcend that. Of course, the Absorbing Man is like, I didn't know you were a wimp. And I forgot this guy's name. You'll have to forgive me. Check out the Marvel um, database. He says, "Oh, you saw Galactus go down, so now your guts are jelly." And Doctor Doom, it would have been funny if he would sigh, but I could just see him going, "You would still behave as bacteria responding to the crude stimuli he prefers." And then Absorbing Man says, "If that means fight, yeah, I would." So he says, "Fools," and he throws these power beams from his gauntlets. And he goes, "That should keep them at bay till I'm safely gone. I should have realized they would not understand. In all the universe, there is perhaps one other besides myself who might comprehend." So Doctor Doom says, "Though it pains me, I must seek out and take counsel with my most hated enemy." He means Reed Richards. "I see that the Beyonder has even provided me with the means to do so." And so he goes out, but Kang, of course, sees him leave. Kang believes that he's out to join the heroes. Again, love screen tone. I keep saying it's a lost art. So he is going to shoot this weapon at him and says, "I will not let him betray us." So then the hero says, "What was that?" Captain America is like, "A ship was shot down," and Wolverine is like, "That blast was like a nuke. No, you guys would be dead. Well, some of them at least." So Richards is like, "A large chunk of debris fell only a few miles from here," and Iron Man says, "Let's go check it out." So here come the heroes to go investigate. So, and Spider-Man, I love this, hanging on to the Hulk. And the thing is like, how humiliating. And so they get there and see Doctor Doom. Of course, he's alive because of his personal force field. And he says, "Richards, I must speak with Richards. He might comprehend. Power so great it humbles us. We are bacteria dust." And so someone here says, "Don't go near him. He's dangerous." Wolverine, of course, threatens to slice him. And he says, "Back off, Wolverine." He says, "Let me help you," and offers his hand. And Dr. Doom says, "Doom needs the aid of no man," and he gets up on his own. He says, "I see that pity. I see it in your eyes, Captain America, and yours, Richards. Pity yourselves. I was a fool to think you might comprehend what only Doom can know." And so, because they took pity on, basically, because they try to help him, he's all pissed. That's essentially all it is. So he fires at them. So, and as soon as he fights them, here come the villains now, off to make their move. So, again, look at this beautiful screen tone. So, all right, Secret Wars #1, written by Jim Shooter, drawn by Mike Zeck, inks by John Beaty. So, wonderful stuff. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.